So yet again, I am Damien of the Virtual Pub Project, but you probably already knew that. So, today's video we are going to be looking at phrases and things that we get from pubs again. It's another one of those videos. I'm going to start off with one that you have probably used at some point in your life, especially for the kind of person who tries to be healthy every so often. Falling off the wagon, or being on the wagon, as some people may say it. What on earth does this mean? Where does it come from? Well, it actually comes from over the pond in the US of A. Now, we are talking about the times of the wild frontier, where people were going out and they were exploring this vast wasteland and, you know, all this desert land with all the buffalo and all this sort of thing. People were going out and making settlements there. Now, a lot of the time, the way you would design your settlement is you would go somewhere you knew was safe, look through a telescope, find a water source, and you would go to that water source and make your settlement there. However, a lot of people who were going out looking for resources couldn't always follow the water trail. Sometimes they would have to go, well, there's this really nice, say, tin ore, for example. Just over there. Let's go and let's mine that ore and we can sell it and we can make loads of money off of this. But there's no water source. Now, this is before the railroads got there. These are just the early settlers coming in and deciding we're going to build a town here. So, where do they get their water from? Wagons. Horse-drawn wagons would come from another town nearby. They would fill it up with water and they would bring the water in to this new town, where they would then be able to, you know, get the water they need to live on. However, these journeys could take quite a while. You know, they're not a couple hours away. These are potentially days between one town and the next. So this wagon convoy that you've got coming in, bringing on all of your fresh, lovely water, is going to be out there for a couple of days. Now, if you put fresh water in a wooden barrel and leave it for a period of time, you start getting all this horrible algae and all these other sorts of things that don't taste very nice when you drink the water. Ways around this, where we've already seen, you know, people drink booze, but the concept of being on the wagon and off the wagon comes from a saying when the West, they're colonizing it and they're trying to civilize it, and a lot of religious pilgrims would come into town and try and persuade people that maybe you shouldn't be drinking 16 bottles of whiskey a day. Hey, let's make yourself a little bit healthier and all that. So the phrase comes from people who were then saying, yes, no, I will get on the wagon. I would rather drink the nasty algae-filled water on these wagons than have another drink of alcohol. Thus the phrase, on the wagon. Thus falling off the wagon, meaning you've gone on a bit of a bender, means someone who, you know, was on the wagon, I'm going to drink this instead of anything else. There is a saloon over there, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Oh no, I fell off the wagon! Oh, I better crawl over to that saloon and make myself better. So that's where the phrase falling off and being on the wagon originates. Next up, coswallop. Ah, you're talking a lot of coswallop. What on earth does that mean? Well, this comes from slightly more modernish times in the wild frontier. This comes from when people started bottling beer and indeed fizzy drinks. Check out my video on the history of fizzy drinks. So the big issue with this is, you know, anyone who knows, if you get a bottle of fizzy carbonated beverage and take the lid off and leave it on the side, it goes flat. It loses its fizz. All that gas comes out of the bottle and loses it. So there was a real race on to try and work out, how do we keep all this fizz in the bottle? How do we keep the fizziness in the bottle and keep it nice? So here you are, you have your fizzy, lovely bar beverage, and a gentleman by the name of Mr. Codds. Supposedly, now this is supposedly, this is one of those beautiful things where people say the saying came from this, but there's not a lot of historical evidence to back it up, so take it with a pinch of salt if you will. But yeah, Mr. Codds invented a really good seal that you could put on a bottle and keep all that fizzy liquid in there and keep the liquid fizzy. Now, what is the side effect from drinking lots of fizzy drink? you belch. Now, when you belch, you are taking all that gas that's stored up inside your stomach and being released through, obviously, through the gut and out through the mouth. Now, when it's in your body, it warms up. This is where we get the phrase talking a lot of hot air. The air coming from your system, being warmed up, and then coming out through the mouth. So while you were belching away, or walloping, as the saying supposedly goes, that would cause that sensation. Talking a load of coswallop, you are talking a load of rubbish. You are belching up a load of hot air from Mr. Cod's delightful way of keeping the drink fizzy, and that fizziness is now causing you to talk a load of wallop. Coswallop. That has been a very quick look at a couple phrases we have here in the drinking culture, I suppose you could call it. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, which are somewhere around here. At some point, I will remember where they are. Other than that, I've been Damien of the Virtual Pub Project. See you soon.